They are part of the changing face of comedy. Courtney, Dawson and Kura, Turuwhenua star in an upcoming comedy show at the newly reopened Te Pau Theatre. They sat down with Miriana Johnson to talk funny whānau members and flops with non-Māori audiences.
Two crack-up-as up-and-comers, bringing colour to the comedy scene.
Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is to have a cavoodle when you live in Manurewa?
Courtney Dawson of Ngāti Kuri and Waikato Tainui often performs as a double act with her dad.
It is quite good having a dad that looks like a bouncer in comedy, because it means I never get heckled when we're on the same lineup. To be fair, I also never get laid those nights either. So.
But she's had solo success too, having a few cracks at herself and even her Māoritanga.
I am Māori, but I didn't join the kapahaka group at school, so this is my matatini. All you Māoris in the crowd, please don't judge me, okay? I went to an all-girls Catholic school in Ponsonby. There's a point where if the teacher running the kapahaka group is a blonde Pākehā lady called Miss Ireland, it actually becomes anti-Māori to join, okay?
Kura Turuwhenua of Kaitahu, Moriori, Ngāti Porou and Tūhoi is also on the rise.
But it's a real Pākehā school, so that's where I learned how to empathise with white women.
Taking out the Raw Comedy Quest last year with her signature deadpan delivery.
Nah, I empathise with white women because I've done the most white woman thing you can do. I dated a Samoan.
And her performances always feature a few out-the-gate riffs.
When two girls love one another and they put in the work for each other, you know what I call that? A labia of love.
They're joining an all-Māori lineup this week to raise pūtea for East Coast whānau impacted by the floods.
Kia ora kōrua.
Kia ora.
So how'd you both get involved with the comedy show?
Via email. We received an email from Albert and Aroha. That's it, yeah.
So it's an all-Māori comedic lineup. Is this the first time you've both performed with all Māori?
This is not the first time. Because we've done an all Māori lineup. But it's the first time that we've really been all together in a space for like a reason like this.
What is the comedy landscape like in 2023? Do you feel like there's a lot of up-and-coming Māori comedians like yourself, or is it still kind of like pale and stale?
There's absolutely more Māori comedians coming through, and I think the more of us that do it, then it just keeps on gaining traction. Like a few years ago, like in 2019, if there was another Māori in the room, it was my dad. So it was like, and now, now we've got Kura and Bailey and Joel, and I think that will just keep growing and growing.
What about the audience? Like, do you feel that your jokes always land with the audiences?
No. It's a completely different experience doing a show that is either a completely Māori lineup or a majority Māori audience. It's a really comforting feeling actually doing it in front of a Māori audience, because there's so many jokes that you don't have to explain the context to. You can just say the thing and people automatically register it. No one wants to explain why their joke is funny, no matter what the reason is.
Yeah.
Either it's not funny or, yeah. To be honest, Māori people, I feel like we have pretty out-the-gate sense of humour sometimes. Yeah. And especially performing to Pākehā, because comedy crowds predominantly are Pākehā, because it takes disposable income to be able to come to shows. And sometimes they get scared to laugh because what you're saying, it's not offensive, but it can be it's not like a clean cut, straight view of the world. It's grey areas and things like that. Māori people are happy to laugh at that because they live it. But Pākehā people sort of have to put themselves into your world, so they can get a little bit shy sometimes.
Oh. And maybe should I laugh at that? Am I okay to laugh at this?
Definitely, especially when we're talking about being Māori. They're like, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Is that something you guys, when you came into comedy, were you thinking, we need to laugh about some of our experiences as Māori?
I don't know. It is just what it is. That's, you talk about yourself, you talk about your life. And I think that is something that would happen sometimes when I would tell jokes and I'd be like, I'm a single
mother, I'm Māori and I'm from South Auckland, like sometimes I would hear people go, oh. I was like, no, that is not the reaction I want.
So sorry.
Karoha.
Yeah. And I've got jokes about raising my siblings when I was a kid, and like this person said to me, like, it's so good that you can make jokes about such a traumatic time of your life. I was like, when did I say it was traumatic? I never once said that. But I don't know, I think there's some like projections going on about what people think our lives are like.
And you mentioned, you know, Māori, we've got like pretty out the gate humour. I wanted to ask you both, like, who are the funniest people in your whānau or your hapori? Can't say yourselves.
I love that she didn't immediately say her dad.
I know my dad will be expecting me to say my dad, but no, it's my nephew. Yeah. The kid's so funny. Like, my nephew lives with my parents, and every time I go around there, he's got a banger joke, and me and my dad are like, bags it, I've got it. So when he gets old enough to do stand-up, we'll have to write our own material, I think.
What about you, Kura?
The funniest person in my family is probably mixed between two people, my uncle Chris and my koro. My uncle, he's just like probably one of the most offensive people I've ever met in my life. But like, he just has this way, he says like out the gate things in a way that makes him really lovable. Like, we have this German boarder in our home, and he the first time he met him, he's like, oh yeah, I'm German.
To his face.
Yeah, to his face. And all of us are like, what's gonna happen? And our boarder's like, ha 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 ha. Like, are you actually okay with this? But everyone is, just because he's just got a joyful nature about him.
Ka pai, well, tēnā kōrua. Looking forward to seeing you both here on the stage.
Ngā mihi, thank you very much. Can't wait.